physical, what you up to? Can I have a minute of your time? You want me to turn my heel and forget you? All I know it can't be done. I'm only asking once, would you let me take a minute of your time? You might just be surprised at where it gets you. All I know, I'm in it for the ride. But you don't care if you hurt me. Lead me on for fun. Not for once, I'm telling you. Don't keep this up. You lose someone who really loves you. Not that he can bother you. You called me early morning, it was up, babe. You was out late last night, drinking with your girls and you come through. But every time you do, we fight. I'm only asking once, can we not do this? I don't wanna fight all night. I'd rather kiss your lips and undress you and take you on your favorite ride. But you don't care if you hurt me. Lead me on for fun. Not for once, I'm telling you. Don't keep this up. You lose someone who really loves you. Not that he can bother you.
safe from the gunplay. When I'm hungry, she feed my soul. When I'm lonely, she keep me company. It's funny. I used to wanna grow older, travel with sight in these rounds. So they realize that she got me out of my mind. I'm trying to kick these nerves to grab hold to the microphone. Got him nodding along. Maybe she'll save the world for me. Maybe she'll right my wrongs if I'm coming on too strong. Oh well, only way to tell is by saying just how I feel, and that's real. Alright, I know I'm lying to myself, pardon my wishful thinking. Still fly from head to trinkets, afraid of blinking. Can't even miss a second of the blessings. I'm living messy, like every minute is a gift, it's a pleasure. Let's get together, let's spin us a smooth forever. Wait, pick up your mood, I know I lack the direction. Skipped on class at a lecture, busy trying to get it together. Something clever, my notes are tethered to the reckless behaviors with good intentions. Smolder incense, good riddance to negative energy. Let peace, love, and serenity spill for me. None as ill as me, truth be told, barely real as me. How I let feelings loose on loose leaf. Murder the goose beat, shout to Mills on the cool keys. Ooh, she's feel like a cool breeze. Near the ocean tide, from the cove to the globe wide. With an open eye and a smile, feel like everything might turn out to be fine.
Here we go, put this miserable song on repeat. Cause you seem to forget how much you are hurting me. Do what's right, you say you will, but then you don't. You just don't. You don't care, cause you don't take me seriously. What's there to repair if you don't wanna talk to me? You should know your time is up, I'm out, I'm done. So I'm putting you on a lifetime sentence, and you'll no longer feel my presence. So you thought I would let this live, thought you knew me so much better. You're on a lifetime sentence, so now you never feel my presence. So you thought I would let this live, thought you knew me so much better. So you thought I would let this live, thought you knew me so much better. Yeah, yeah. So you thought I would let this live. No, that's right. Your words don't mean a thing to me. Sleepless night, your love has left us incomplete. Thinking that your promises will fit so loud. No, that's right. So I'm putting you on a lifetime sentence, and you'll no longer feel my presence. So you thought I would let this live, thought you knew me so much better. You're on a lifetime sentence, so now you never feel my presence. So you thought I would let this live, thought you knew me so much better. Cause I don't. So you thought I would let this live, thought you knew me so much better. Oh no. So you thought I would let this live. So
What's going on? What's going on? What is going on, people? Let's get the likes up. Get them up, get them up, get them up. All right. Most educated women look over blue collar men to their detriment. Most college educated women looks over blue collar men. And this is just a statement of undeniable fact. First off, do me a favor. Before we get started, I need everybody to put their age, city, and sex. Age, city, and sex. Age, city, and sex in the chat room. This is going to be a very interactive show because I want to get down to some nitty-gritty brass tacks of stuff. And I want to help some women. I want to help women understand. I want to help people understand who's doing what where. Help people understand who's doing what where and why this is important. Why this is important. Before we get started, how many people in the comment section went to college? If you went to college and you graduated from college, do me a favor, put a 1 in the chat room. If you went to college, graduated from college, let your godfather know. I want to know who I'm dealing with. Yeah, godfather, I went to college, Got my degree in underwater basket weaving for non-majors. And now I'm out here trying to find Blake Henry up in this piece. All right. They're out here trying to find Blake up in here. And that's cool. No heat, no judgment. The call-in for the show is down here at the bottom. But I want to make sure we go ahead and get started. If you know you're going to want to get on the show and ask some questions, because I want to go over some basic stuff. If you haven't been watching the show, what you're missing out. But Blue high earners not rich yet, are the one group of men that college educated women skip right on over in their quest to find a good man. Now, over the last week, I've been talking a lot about top 10% men, top 5% men, the same old stuff, what it takes to build a relationship, what it takes to, to build a power and build a network. And, I've had people in the comment section, well, is it only, what about the blue collar guys? Hey man, I got to take it one piece at a time. But I want to be clear. I'm not talking about blue collar guys who are making $50,000 a year. No offense, but I'm not talking about guys who are out here making $50,000, $60,000, even $70,000 a year. I'm talking about the men who are out here getting after it. But let's talk about it. Why do most college educated women skip right over blue collar guys? And is this a mistake? Are blue collar men on your level? The higher up women go, the less likely they are to look for a blue collar man. Is that smart? I'd never marry a man who works at a factory, says one content creator I heard of. I never marry a man who's basically a blue collar man, works with his hands, sweats for a living. I've heard this one personally. I'd never marry a man who didn't wear a suit to work. Now, and what do you hear? You hear some of the same old refrains. Times have changed. Everybody doesn't wear suits, and people are just, well, whatever. And I asked the same question last night. Why do single professionals lag behind couple to married professionals? Are you truly in charge of your own social life? Meaning, this is the weekend. Prior to what's going on right now, did you have 3 activities that you had actively were invited to? I mean, not on email list. You didn't get some random text. I mean, 3 people actually went through the trouble of inviting you out somewhere this weekend. How does not being married? Are you truly not married because you choose not to be? This is going to be the group that's really going to feel this one. That group of women that talks about, I'm not married because I choose not to be. Well, let's be clear. That's bull for most of you guys. Because especially here in these YouTube streets, I sure have met so many women who have been engaged. And engaged only counts if the man actually whipped out a ring with significant caratage, 1.3 carats or better, actually 1.5 carats or more. And he did it in public. None of this BS. We've been in a relationship for 5 years, so we were de facto engaged. No. An actual proposal happened in front of people. That's what engagement is. An engagement with the intent of walking down the aisle and making you Miss Henry. An engagement where he talked to your father and asked for your hand in marriage. Or if your father wasn't there, he talked to your mother. Yeah, that's what an engagement is. How does being single hurt women at work? Not gonna worry about men at work on this one. Is it better to settle or make an arrangement or to go it alone? Have you invested so much relational energy into this so-called career you have, pets or other things that you really can't get along with men? Is it possible that as an educated, college educated woman, your soft skills have become terrible with men who are not white collar? Are you socially awkward with men who are not white collar? And have you lost all hope? Are you doomed? Let's get into it. 461 people watching. We got to get the likes up over 300. I need 300 likes if you guys want to do this show. 300 likes. I'm going to need 10 people to go ahead. We are taking up the first collection. I ain't going to use Jobs Church. Pay your tuition. All right, hold on. Hit that little $ right there. Throw something in the bucket.
To the beach, wait, I met this girl when I was 12 years old. Give her everything, just shot of the world. Can I get a grip every time? I tried to hold on, I slipped deep in this feeling that gravity pulls me down. I know I'm tripping, I'm falling in love with her drum breaks. She keep me safe from the gunplay when I'm hungry. She feed my soul when I'm lonely. She keep me company. It's funny. I used to wanna grow older, travel with sight in these rhymes. So they realize that she got me out of my mind. I'm trying to kick these nerves to grab hold to the microphone. Got him nodding along. Maybe she'll save the world for me. Maybe she'll right my wrongs if I'm coming on too strong. Oh well, only way to tell is by saying this how I feel, and that's real.
Women who will, like somebody already mentioned it, people evaluate each other at a glance. It's not just women. So let me talk about the blue collar men that I'm referring to. I'm not talking about the dude that's 40 years old working at Jiffy Lube. That's not who I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the 40-year-old that's, out there, working second shift. Let's talk about what this all said. What this really means. If you didn't learn anything from this last global catastrophe, that blue collar men run this world. White collar men, the guys who wear the suits and smell like Rose Babar, we ain't nothing without blue collar men. Nothing. We cannot exist without blue collar men. The men who do the heavy lifting, that sacrifice, get out there and work with their hands, sweat, wear them ugly boots, them funny looking uniforms, work in some of the most inhospitable conditions around some of the worst environments so you can sit in your house or your office in air-conditioned luxury. Blue collar men built the world. Blue collar men run the world. You like this internets, this Google, the lights and all this stuff, it doesn't work without a power grid. It doesn't work without people who can run the plumbing, the electricity, the HVAC, the roads. Oh, you complaining because you couldn't go get toilet tissue and hand sanitizer? What about the men that had to truck it from this side of the country to that side of the country while the country was locked down, when all the restaurants and stuff was closed? How'd they get from here to there? They had to make sure stuff was in your supermarket or not so you could complain about it. But anybody, make no mistake, far too often, blue collar men get no respect. And in particular from women. And this is one of the biggest areas where you fail. Because I come from a blue collar family. Heartland, Oklahoma City, Bible Belt, factory family. My family was blue collar, factory, and domestics. My domestics, meaning they cleaned up white folks' houses when I was a young boy. Grandfather, a truck driver. Uncle, military man, then a factory worker. Once he got up out them streets, when his daughter was born, he worked every day until retirement, not missing a day. These are the men that get up and go to work in the morning, early in the morning, and work themselves to death or injury. And far too many, you college educated women look straight on over them because you think the man in a suit who smells all good with the nice manicured nails is going to put you in a better position. Let me let you in on a secret. It is far easier to become a Blake Henry blue collar than white collar. Hello. Why? Because unless you are a physician, unless you are an attorney, something where you can go into private practice, if you are a white collar man, in order to make big money, you're going to have to go work in someone's corporation. Whereas a blue collar man can be an entrepreneur. Word of the day, enterprising. I'm talking about enterprising blue collar men. The blue collar men that actually build those skyscrapers so we can put our headquarters there. And I'm going to tell you ladies a secret. We look at how you speak, talk to, interact, and refer to our blue collar brothers. One of the biggest turnoffs is to see a educated white collar woman talking shit about a blue collar man in a white collar man's face. I've seen it all my career. In the car, going to the airport, and women talking about this guy in a protective vest, building the roads. And I'm like, don't you realize you don't know who you're talking to? Oh, you think because I'm sitting up here in a suit and all this other kind of stuff, I'm going to sit there and laugh at them? And they're always shocked. Like, why ain't you laughing at the joke? I'm like, shit, this is my people. These are my people. This is where I came from. White collar men have the utmost respect for blue collar men. Why do you think your president even goes to these factories and stuff, and he goes in there and he tries to butch it up to be on the same page with the guys who actually run this country? Because he's been a pampered millionaire, but even he understands that these are the men that run stuff. And you look over them. Why do you look over them? Because you honestly think that piece of paper with that stamp on it means something. There are precious few, shout out to CJ King that started all this off. There are single digits of white collar Henrys, single digit percentage. There are double digit blue collar Henrys. What am I talking about? I'm not talking. Now, what does it take to be a blue Henry? A blue Henry is a true entrepreneur. He's an enterprising entrepreneur. He may start out doing the job, product, or service himself. He may start out doing the work himself. He may start out working with his two hands, his toolkit, however he gets it. If he's a contractor, electrician, plumber, a builder, a truck driver, HVAC technician, roofer, they start out doing the work as a journey. They may be a journeyman where they actually work from here to there, getting their skills. They may be an apprentice. They apprentice under somebody, but then that special blue Henry, he learns how to do the job, but he also learns how to build the business. And he steps away from the work site and he puts on his blazer and his button-up polo shirt. He doesn't try to go in and do the designer suits and all that. No. He has on his nice slacks. He has on some boots that can go on the work site and in an office. He has a button-up and a blazer. And he comes and he actually secures the governmental contracts, the regional contracts, the local contracts. These are the men that the Blake Henry and Blue Henrys work together to make this whole ecosystem that you fawn over. So the first question is, are you making a mistake by looking over blue collar men? Well, only if you want to win. Only if you want a man who's actually in charge of his own destination. Far too many Blake Henrys are high earners, but not truly in charge of shit. We are names on a balance sheet. We are names in an organization. It looks good. But how many national account manager jobs are out there that aren't for Fortune 500, Fortune 1000, Fortune 2000 companies? There are no national account manager companies for a regional Blue Henry concern. But there are plenty of regional players that are logistics firms, that are oil and gas firms. Oil and gas is littered with Blue Henrys. They provide the valves. They provide the piping. They provide the stuff you would never even think of. Mud. But these guys actually got to go work for a living. And because in the developmental years, they're not dressed like me. They're dressed in overalls, coveralls, the Dickies. And far too many of you women, because you went to state university, private school, or whatever, you come out of school and you turn your nose smooth up at a man who's making double what you're making with your marketing degree or communications or whatever, at your age. Let's be real. Many of you would choose to become one of 5 for Blake Henry instead of one of 1 for Blue Henry in training. Then what happens? You get later on, late 20s, and you don't have any proposals, no marriage proposals, none of that stuff happening. Then you start looking at the guy who was a Blue Henry in training and stepped out and started his own LLC, his own S Corp. And he starts out. And the thing is, these guys are bosses, enterprising entrepreneurs, because they have staff. They have a payroll. They have a payroll in the business far sooner than Blake Henry does. They are actually the small business creators that run this country. 50 employees or less. That's these guys. And it is far more likely to become a Henry as a Blue Henry than a Blake Henry. Again, you have to be an exceptional earner. to be able to replicate what a lot of these guys can do with a staff of 5. So why do so many women overlook these guys? One, you don't know them. You don't know them. You absolutely don't know them. You look at them because they got on jeans, Dickies, a workout. I mean, a protective vest, a helmet, a protective hat, goggles, and you look at them and you think it's manual labor, and you believe that you are in a different social class because you got your education, and they just have certifications. You don't want to bring these guys around your girlfriends, because when they get off work, they have to go home and shower and clean up because they smell like work. There is no happy hour with Blue Henrys at Sambuca. They can't go from the work site to the lounge because they smell like lava soap. Pumice is in their house. You don't want that in your house, because when you come through the door, their work boots got work on them. And it may throw off the entire feng shui of your new loft downstairs, because no matter how you do it, a man is working in 80, 90-degree temperatures outdoors. Shoes are going to smell. You don't want them to bring them boots in the house. They got to stay outside. You got all these different things set up because you don't want this hardworking man to, in the house that he can afford to buy 3 times over, but you can't. You want to make him feel this big, and that's your problem. See, men have more respect for Blue Henrys than women do. That's why you don't get them. Men have respect for work. Men know who do the work, and we treat them accordingly. Do you? These, like I said, these are the men who can go out there and start their own small business and end up hiring a staff of 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 20, 30. By the time they're 35 years old, these people can have a staff of 50 people. And at some point, they go from doing the work to doing the administrative portion of the work. And this is where, if you had played your cards right and found Blue Henry while he was on his way, you could have took your accounting degree or your finance degree or your business management degree, and you could have ended up running the office for your husband, your man. You could have ended up being the office manager or the person that's out making sure that all the contracts are here, the paperwork is here, keeping everybody in line, such and so forth. And then when it's time to go to the Chamber of Commerce, where Blake and Blue actually have to meet, shake hands, and do business, you could have been there working the room for your Blue, because his soft skills are not necessarily as good as yours. And they never will be, because these men work around men. Let me explain to you what I just said. If you were smart, you'll go get these guys, because they're not in the office with Keisha. They're not in the office with Tammy, Tiffany, Diane, Brenda, Marisol, Maria, Maylene. They're not in the office with potential Phoebes. They're on the work site with men. Kind of hard to have an affair with somebody at work when it's all men. So no, they're out doing the heavy lifting and the hard work. They don't want to come home and talk about Love and Hip Hop Atlanta and all this other stuff. They want sex sandwich silence. They've had to work all day. But when they get to the point to where they're building and out networking, and they're coming into the Chamber of Commerce meeting, the Heart Ball, the this, the that, Blake Henry never looks down on Blue Henry. Even though I'm in a straight up Italian custom suit and he's in a very nice blazer and a button up and some cool slacks. We know exactly who we are. He's got a building contract. He's a building contractor. He runs a roofing company. He runs a regional plumbing concern, regional electricians, HVAC, car lots, anything where you can sweat. Taking trucking and made trucking logistics. So I got to ask you, how many of you women would love to in your early years with your cute self skip right on over Blake Henry and go jump on Blue Henry? Or would you rather go deal with a man who's making $120,000, $80,000 sitting in an office somewhere because it looks better? Oh shit, Super Chat's going crazy. What the fuck? Here's the thing. Blue Henry is your gold mine. But what he cannot afford is not to have Phoebe, because he is a boss. He's enterprising. He has to deal with people like myself. He has to deal with other folks moving around. He has all these things to do, and he cannot deal with having a woman at home or in his life bringing drama, anything less than cooperation. Because unlike most Blake Henrys, who are individual contributors or who have small networks, he has employees, whether they're full-time or part-time or contractors. He's actually having to manage people. And difficult relationships have a massive impact on not only him, but everything else, because it flows downhill. Now, my question is, how many women have thought, you know what? I would probably do better off being with a Blue Henry. Because you know what? He ain't going to be having to deal with a lot of women. Yeah, he may not be as suave as Blake, but he's got blue collar swag. Is that really what you're judging? Or are you judging the fact that of all the men, it's more likely that he is in charge of his entire destiny, his entire world? Because he's not tied to a corporation. There's no corporate gain. Can you deal with an enterprising Blue Henry? Are you cut out for it? Would you even look at it? Let's talk about it. What the hell? Here's the thing, ladies. I need you to get in the chat room. Here it is. Sugar P. See, funny thing is, a lot of Blue Henrys, man, are movers and shakers in these areas, man. They come into these places, you know, and it's not like they come in here like knuckle dragging Cro-Magnon men. See, that's another misconception, that these guys, just because they work in the area of men, that they can't go and do the upper echelon things that you like to do. That's some bull crap. Men that work with their hands are not cavemen. Where am I getting all this stuff from? Because I've seen far too many sorority girls, debutantes, wannabe socialites, just completely shit on blue collar men and have the nerve to do it in our presence, as though we're going to be like, yeah, man, yeah. Not realizing that, man, we got nothing but respect for these guys, man. Well, if men have respect, if Blake Henry has respect for him, you need to have utmost respect for him. Where are they in your Rolodex? When I hear women say I wouldn't marry a guy who works in the factory, get out of here. Come on, let's talk about it. What's going on? Audio is connected. I'm sorry, guys. I was in my monologue, so let me catch up here. Crimson, I'm gonna go ahead and unmute you. Let's talk about it, ladies. You're overlooking the largest group of Henrys because they're not in suits, because they don't have they got certifications and not degrees. Because in the formative years, you were looking at the style over the substance, because you didn't have a daddy in your life, like most of us, to tell you the difference between style and substance. You didn't have a daddy in your life to say, you know what, it's better to deal with this guy over here who is a landscaper and he's expanding his business than to deal with this guy over here who's an account executive, who's just a middling account executive, because this guy has business cards. Let me go ahead and unmute you. I'm trying to unmute you, Kendra. Home care, healthcare. What's going on?
How you doing this evening, Mr. Samuel, sir?
I am well. What the hell? I am behind. What you got for me? I got to get caught up.
I'm not gonna take too much of your time on your show, but I did just want to chime in with the ladies. Ladies, you ladies are missing out if you are overlooking blue collar men. I know that these men typically do not go with a lot of glitz and glamour and the style and all of that. However, they shouldn't be overlooked just because they don't have the outward image that you're looking for or that you think you deserve. Because I've talked to a lot of 92 octanes that think that they're, above a blue collar man because he does smell like work. He looks like he's the embodiment of a hard day's work. And, he's sweating all day, or whatever. So whenever she does see him, he's not relaxed. He's got on dirty jeans. He's got on boots and work gloves,
Mm-hmm.
And so if they tend to assume that this man is unintelligent and that he isn't making a certain amount of money or what have you. But I'm here to tell you that is not true by experience. My husband is a Blue Henry, and he's highly intelligent, all of that. He doesn't do the glitz and the glamour, but he is solid. He's more than solid. So you ladies really, really, really need to stop looking over these men. But the one thing that Kevin told you guys was absolutely true. These men work very hard, and the last thing that they need is a woman that is going to be obtuse and that is going to be obstinate with him and bring drama to him. So if you have to kind of learn the skill of catering to him, because a lot of blue collar men don't get that catering. They do such tiring work, and that's really what they want when they come home. They want dinner, they want a nice ambiance, have some foot soak ready, have some, whatever else ready, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And, have some nice conversation for him, something soothing, something calm, something that doesn't irk his nerves. Or the other alternative is to leave him alone.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Silence is golden.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay.
Appreciate it,
I don't
Kendra.
want to take up your time.
Thank
Have a
you.
good evening.
Thank you very much, Lady Kendra. I don't like that. Let's gonna do a different applause. Let's do that one. So I got a question. Oh, first of all, let me tell you ladies something. Let me talk to you sorority types. And it's no heat, no judgment. I understand. But you're the soft skill softening agent. You know what you could do for your Blue Henry by saying, hey, baby, I won this virtual consultation in an office pool. You went out and bought your man an image, a virtual consult. I used to show wives how to get their men in to see me all the time. I got 2 babies named after me. I bullshit you not. The Western Avenue Association, not gonna say her name, but she knows who she is. She sent her husband to me in that very way. He would never hire you. I say, here's what to do. Buy a gift certificate, tell him you want it, in a raffle. And it's only for men. She sent her husband to me that way, and in an afternoon, changed his entire game with 3 basic stuff: frames, fragrance, and footwear. I didn't make him anything but a Blue Henry. I did my magic. He looked like a working man, but when he was off work, he was her version of David Beckham. One of the strangest phone calls I've ever had in my career, when they called me up the middle of the week, talk about they had just basically been working out all weekend, if you catch my drift. This woman wrote me a long letter. I've got my husband back. He's the man I remember. And I was like, okay. But when he hit me up, he's like, man, the spark is back. Now she looks at me a completely different way. I didn't know that this would change my marriage. Just leave that right there. Didn't know that would change my marriage. All of these are Blue Henry fragrances. They ain't gonna be buying no Aventus. They ain't gonna be putting on no rose, amber, and oud. They're not gonna be putting on any of that shit that I wear. They're gonna smell like a man. Clean man. Spicy man. Marlboro man steps off the billboard. Boardroom. When you go out to the lounge. More boardroom, creamy fall or winter. Some citrus. There you go, right there. Right there. This one's for me. But this one worked for them too. But those right there, Blue Henrys. Any guy who don't know a damn thing about a niche fragrance or nothing like this, that's what these guys do. And he was amazed at the husband she got back. Because women love to see their men in some jeans that fit and some Fry's kind of work boots that were cleaned up and a nice polo shirt and had a little jacket on him. Threw on some cool frames on him, some cool aviators. Yes, sir. How many of you women don't know how to deal with blue collar men? This is when you come talk to your godfather. Godfather, hear what you're saying? I never thought about it. But real talk, I grew up with my mama. And my mama always talked about, get a rich man, a doctor, a lawyer, or something like this. I don't know how to talk to him. I don't even know how to deal with it. I don't know. I got one. But you know what? I would love to be able to, he don't want to go to these places. He don't want to go to those upper echelon places because he does not own a dinner jacket or whatever. How do I help my man become the best version of himself without making him feel like I'm talking down to him or that he ain't up to my standard or whatever? Man, y'all need to come on, man. Because like I said, this is the largest group of men. These are the men, when you talk about the 20% to 30% of men who own their own business, that's these guys. That's these guys. The only white collar men that tend to own their own business, physicians, attorneys, accountants, maybe some sort of sales, insurance, consultants. But it's really small, very small. If you're a pharmacist, are you going to go own your own pharmacy? Most don't. Most have to be in some sort of practice. Even if you're in IT, are you going to go start your own consulting firm? Most don't. They want to land that good job at, Google or Apple or something. No problem with that. But again, that's a different animal. Can you be a Blue Henry's woman? What's the upside? Well, what's the upside? Well, there's a lot of upside to it, actually. Far less politics. Far more control. Where you can actually choose where you live. Because where Blue Henry lives does not have to be locked to where he works. Many Blue Henrys that lived out in the nicest suburb, and they work way in Timbuktu. Because these men are used to having to go where the work is. They got to go on site. Most white men don't own their own business. Raymond Herndon, what are you talking about? We got to stop acting like if you don't own your own business, you're a bum. Who said that? What are you in here talking about, man? In here projecting? Most black women don't go anywhere to find a man other than do the same club over and over. All right. Now, we are about that work. Now, here's the thing. The I in FBI is inspiration. There are plenty of men who are blue collar men who really have everything that it takes from a hard skills standpoint to own their own business. But yet, from a soft skills standpoint, there's some things that are lacking. This is another growth area, another massive opportunity area for many FBI women. If you're truly in on your man's program, why are you working for ABC Company and not working for Blue Henry Inc.? Half your home, you start working from the home office, 20% of your mortgage or rent written off for business expenses, all kind of upsides. See, what I realized is and you guys notice something. There are almost over 750 people in here, but I've only had one woman call in. Ladies, if you're a lady and understand something, there's no trick here. No trick, okay? I just want to know how many women are in the chat room. I just want to see. Do me a favor. If you're a woman and you're in the chat room, put a 1 or a high five. I just want to see how many women are there. It would be easier for women to meet Blue Henrys online? Meet Blue Henrys online rather than in person? No. You're not going to meet Blue Henrys online. I'm going to tell you that right now. Blue Henry is not online. He's not on Tinder. He's not on Bumble. See, if Blake and Blue are not there, neither one of these guys are there. Neither one of these guys are online. Okay, so there are plenty of women here. So what I'm trying to understand is, When we talk about Blake Henry, white collar men, y'all are calling in and talking. But Blue, is it that you don't want him? I mean, and you don't have to be on camera. It can just be your voice. But what I want to do is I want to answer some questions and actually let you guys understand what you're missing here. Because I've seen this for 30 plus years that women have just couldn't get over it. Go ahead. Hello? Ladies, call in. Odin's. Hello? Odin's TV. Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me, dude? Well, Kendra could hear me.
Hello?
Yes. Can you not hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes. What do you got for me?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes. What do you have for me?
Hello?
Oh, Lord have mercy. Yes. Everyone can
Hello?
hear you. I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Go ahead. What do you got for me?
Yep, I can hear you. You hear me?
I can hear you. Please
Perfect.
go ahead.
No, I could hear you perfectly.
Holy Jesus.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I really like what you're doing. I just wanted just a piece of advice from you.
Okay,
I'm
stop
25
watching.
right
Stop.
now.
Do me a favor.
I
Do
live-
me a favor. Do me a favor. Stop. You're distracted. You're watching internet screens and chat rooms and everything else. Focus
Yeah,
on
so
the
I just
call.
wanted to
No. Listen. Only talk to me. Don't look on all the different screens. Talk to me, please. I got a show going on. This dude. All right.
just a piece of advice.
Did you hear what I
25
said?
years old, live
Did
with
you
my
hear what I
people.
said? No, he didn't hear what I said. You're not getting in.
So I live with my parents right now,
You're not hearing, dude.
and I'm almost done.
Dude, what is your
School.
name? What is your name?
Degree in economics.
What is your name?
I'm gonna be working
What the fuck?
for a little
man?
bit, and then just
What
trying
the
to figure out,
fuck? What is your
like,
name?
what do you think I can do
Oh,
next?
geez.
Like, what do you think some steps are?
What is your name? It might be a delay for him. I get it. Now he's here. He just can't hear. Can you hear me? Roy Jones, you're up. Yeah, dude. Odin's TV, you need to come back in, dude. Because, yeah, see, a lot of times people will get online and they'll be trying to look at the chat room, trying to see how the comments are running. I'm like, bruh, no, it wasn't that dude. Roy Jones, what's going on? Everybody's just coming in. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, Kev, this is Mr. Royce. How you doing there, brother?
How are you?
I'm pretty good. You talking about my lane tonight? Great collar.
Mm-hmm.
What is your?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you're talking about my lane today, man. Blue collar and gray collar areas.
Mm-hmm.
I say gray collar because I work in the law enforcement profession, and I'm also in higher management there, and as well as the military. So that's my lane, and I understand some things about the men in these groups that I think would kind of help the women out, and also men in that area who are looking for women. And I say all that to say this: I am married and I've been off the market for a while, but I deal with single men.
Hold on, Roy.
All right.
Ma'am, whatever your name is, V, whatever, I keep muting you. You need to mute all channels in the background and just be in Zoom because we're getting background noise. Go ahead, Roy.
Yeah, what I was saying is because a lot of my associations are in this area, I'm in the upper ranks of both.
Mm-hmm.
I understand how these guys operate. I understand how they move. I understand what their concerns are.
Mm-hmm.
So
Cool, man. Well, what I'm gonna do is if you want to hang in the background, I'm gonna get some of these women on and let them talk. So
awesome.
Tara, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and mute you. Tara, your audio's connecting. I don't know what your name is. V, that's you. Savant 88, and then Odins. You're next. Go ahead. And what's your first name, ma'am?
Who, me?
Yes.
Oh, Vix.
Vix. Okay. What you got for me, Vix?
I would like to say I can't believe I got on to speak to you. And I'm an older woman. I've hit the wall. I've passed it. I'm over it. Like I'm smashed out.
Okay.
But
that's all right.
I just wanted to, because I've been listening to these conversations on YouTube for I think since 2012. So I've been really seasoned in all of this. But this conversation is very dear to my heart. My dad, my brother, my grandfather were electricians, plumbers, all in the trades.
Mm-hmm.
And they made their money, and they were simply, let's put it this way, how do I say it? I've got a degree and all this kind of stuff, but I don't use my degree for anything really. But and I understand, because I watched your show today about why women aren't dealing with that other show that you did today. And I was listening to it while I was gardening, and I was like, what are these women on? But what I wanted to just quickly say is, it's not about, I think the women have got a problem with the guys. They think the guys are lesser because they've got an ideal of the vision of the lifestyle they want to have.
Yep.
Right? And the vision of I'll be honest, I have dated one guy. I dated the Shard in London. He was one of the he was the CFO, and I dated him for about 2-3 months. He was boring as hell. I couldn't deal with it. But that was the level that he was on. But I have met guys that can paint, decorate, get in the garden, build something that just turns me on so much. My golf partner always jokes with me, said, "You love a man with a yellow vest." I said, "Yes, I do."
Right. Well, I'm glad to hear a woman who said that she saw her brothers and her father work and build something, and you said something that's very true. A lot of women have an ideal of what this life is going to look like, and they think that these guys are less than them, and that's a huge mistake. Tara, I'm going to unmute you. What do you got for me?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. I was just calling because I did ask in the chat, like, where do you meet these guys? I have met some of them, but I haven't met the ones that you're speaking of.
Okay. Let's get a little background for you. How old are you?
I'm 25.
And what city do you live in?
Atlanta.
Atlanta?
Yes.
Okay. Chamber of Commerce meeting. You ever go to chamber meetings?
No, I do not.
Okay. These guys are small business owners. Small business owners need to connect with other small business owners, and they go to Chamber of Commerce meetings. What do you do for a living?
I work in systems HR, so I'm an HRIS analyst.
So every month, the local Atlanta chamber, the Greater Atlanta Chamber, and then each one of the divisions, maybe like a Buckhead Chamber, a Midtown Chamber, every one of them has at least one thing that's called a breakfast. It's like on a Tuesday morning. And then there's something like a sunset reception, and it's like every other week, and it revolves. And then and I don't know if it's here, but in Oklahoma, there was something called Schmoozapalooza. Think about speed dating for business. Okay. Chamber of Commerce is a great places. Do you attend church?
I do. I do.
Is it a large church or a small church?
It's a fairly small church, and it's kind of like for the younger population.
Okay. Bigger churches.
Okay.
Have you been watching my show?
I have.
So, what will your white counterparts do? These are the places they will go. Big churches, chamber meetings. Are you involved civically? Like in, Habitat for Humanity? Do you volunteer, anything like that?
I do. I do volunteer. I used to work for a nonprofit organization, so I do volunteering and things like that. And then I also volunteer with my college.
Okay. The best place any place where guys are doing business, white collar guys and blue collar guys. Think about roofers, electricians, builders, those kind of things. Chambers are great. Chambers and churches. That's what I would recommend. And you need to get business cards, and you need to be going with the intent of meeting the blue collar guys. The white collar guys will be standing up there in the suits with the name tags, and they'll look the part. But the blue collar guys, they're there for work. They have polo shirts on. Usually have the logo of their company on it. They may have a jacket on, and then start working that room. But here's the question: are you already a college graduate?
Yes.
Do you want to get married?
Yes, I do.
All right. Without getting too deep into it, if you're going to these places to try to find a blue Henry of sort to be a wife to, you're going to need to also understand what it's like to be a blue Henry. It's a different thing than being a Blake Henry. That's what I kind of laid out today. It's a different lifestyle.
Yeah, and I'm actually more interested in a blue Henry than a Blake Henry, because that's just how I was raised. My parents were both college graduates, and they both did trades, and my dad was a carpenter. So that's kind of what I look up to per se. I'm more interested in a blue collar man.
Well, and the thing is, it is so uncommon. It's not the norm for women in international cities to lead with that. Most lead with the fact they want a doctor, lawyer, da-da-da-da. So that could be a selling point for you. Last two things, and I'll get on to the next call. Image consultant. Make sure your appearance is together. The way you dress you don't really wearing a bunch of high-end designer stuff is a good way to turn off a lot of these blue Henrys.
Yes,
coming through with, red bottoms and this and that. They're like, no. These guys are, these guys. You can look good, but just don't overdo it. Sugar P, what's going on?
Hi, Kevin.
What up?
Can you hear me?
Tara, you can stay if you want to. If you want. Go ahead.
Okay.
Hi.
Hey.
So, I don't... Well, I'm one of the sorority girls you talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I definitely can see how some of us can look down on blue collar men.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it happen. Me personally, I feel like, I dated blue collar men, and I feel like I haven't looked down on them because I come from the hood originally. For those that haven't known me on this show, like, it's a lot has changed. But I just feel like when I have dated them, the lifestyle just didn't align. Like, a lot of them tended to be more introverted and not really social. And me being social and me being out in the community or at events or things, it wasn't something they really liked, even if I mentioned something. So for me, it's like, no, I don't look down on them. And I think there are some amazing ones out there. I just feel like what I have come across, because I don't want to say all, it's just a lifestyle. And I don't want to feel like I have to dwindle the lifestyle. Not dwindle it.
I know what you're saying. Here's the thing. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, what you're trying not to say.
Yeah.
So this is where it's incumbent upon both sides. I agree. Just like you have a lot of Blake Henry white collar guys who have poor social skills, but in the white collar world, you're expected to do more social things. There is next to no expectation to have social skills in the blue collar world. Next to none. That's why
Yeah.
enterprising Blue Henrys. The, I would say this. Like I just told the previous caller, Chamber of Commerce meetings. Habitat for Humanity is a great place to meet building contractors.
Yeah.
Maybe not try to find, I would actually, I'll come at it from a sales standpoint. Start finding the industries or the verticals that you most align with and deal with that. Do you want to find an architect or a plumber? Not an architect, an architect or a builder. Every blue collar profession may not mesh with your way of flowing, but find the ones that do, and then kind of go to those kind of events. What's going on? Herb Sparkling Water. Okay, let me see who else is in here. Phoenix. I don't know. Phoenix 4. Male or
Hey,
female?
Kevin, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mel, can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Just a real quick question. I enjoy your content. I was watching you earlier when you were talking to Obsidian and Bernard Riley. The only thing you and I disagree on is that you're a Kappa and I'm a Q, of course. But, just real quick
Both
question,
1911.
Yeah, same year, different colors. But my question is very simple. Why do you think that we don't necessarily teach the young ladies the temperament and the persona of these particular men, whether they're the white collar or even the blue collar, that if they're out working 12 to 15 hours a day, that they're not going to have that life of the party type of personality, and that the socialite attitude is going to counterbalance that. I'll give you a real quick example and I'm gonna hop off. There was this woman, she was a socialite, she lived in LA, and her husband was a surgeon.
Mhm.
And she divorced her husband, and the reason being, the divorce attorney asked her, they said, what's the overall reason as to why you want to divorce your husband? And she said, well, he's boring. And she said, well, what he does for a living is cut people open for 15 hours. What do you expect him to be?
Mhm.
And then this same lady went and married a blue collar contractor, and she came back 5 years later and divorced him because she said the same thing.
Right.
So my question is very simple: is that if these women really want these particular men, then why aren't women? I enjoyed the conversation of the young lady earlier. Why aren't we teaching, the little
Well,
girls?
let me answer the question for you.
Okay.
Hypergamy is real,
Mhm.
and all things being equal, when everybody was when we were little boys, very few little boys said they wanted to be a construction worker. Most wanted to be an astronaut, or cool professions they thought were cool. We don't make blue collar cool. The country does it. The country doesn't
Okay.
make blue collar cool. Education doesn't make blue collar cool. So it's not. That's number one. Number two, when in the formative years, when people are out and about, is in the college years, right?
Right. Correct.
That's all white collar.
Okay.
There's no blue collar college. Well, it used to be. It was called the AME, the architectural schools. So this is new news to a lot of women, honestly,
Okay.
because they didn't grow up with the dad. They didn't grow up with a plumber or an electrician or a roofer. 80% of black folk don't even have a father. So it's just an educational thing. Here's one thing I would say. If I was a Blue Henry, I would, marketing, Blue Henrys can do a better job of marketing themselves through image as well. So there's going to need to be a little bit on all sides, because changing the overall culture, not really going to happen. But that's the best answer I can give you for that.
Okay, one more thing to add.
Okay,
And I appreciate the answer
I
too.
got more people in the queue, so make it short.
Okay, when it, as you know, not to draw politics into it at all, but as it relates to our incumbent president, at his core, that's really who he is. You know, he's a white collar guy that spent a lot of his time around blue collar people, and the elites of New York looked down upon him, and the politicians looked down upon him because all he and his father did was build things for a living, and they made money off of it.
Right.
And it's like, all I'm saying is that if on both sides, like you said earlier, we understand, we value, and we respect one another, and we'll evolve as a race and as a group as we continue to do so. And that's all I have to say. Thank you for having me on.
I appreciate it, man. I don't want to say your, who is this? 872. 872. You got a lot of background noise, and your name is not there. So I'm going to go to William, and I'm going to unmute William.
Hey, what's up, Kevin? You can hear me?
Yeah, you got a lot of background noise. What's your first name?
I apologize. I'm Malcolm. I'm from Chicago.
What do you got for
and
me?
I'm 24. I was going to say, man, you know, I'm actually a blue-collar worker, and, you know, I really don't have a problem dating white-collar chicks because, I mean, I have a blue-collar job, and I make, like, low six figures, and I noticed I usually date up because I'm 24, and I noticed that, you know, it's not what you do. It's really how you do it, you know?
That anecdotally, I don't doubt that works for you, but on the whole, you're not the norm. On the whole, you're not the norm. The norm is more the people who have called earlier. Oh, you got a lot of background noise. Do me a favor, get somewhere where there's less background noise. Appreciate it. William, I'm going to try to unmute you. How are you?
I'm doing great. How
What do you
doing,
got for
Kevin?
me? What do you got for me?
So my father was one of the guys that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
My dad, Kevin, ran a landscaping company.
Right.
He had 3 male employees. He owned 3 or 4 trucks. He had contracts with banks, apartment complexes, and before his death, he had a $1 million contract on an army base.
There you go.
Yeah, so he was doing his thing. My mother met my father. She was introduced to him by a customer, by an older woman who he was doing some work for.
Right.
And I think they had a conversation. He said he was looking for a wife, and sure enough, this older woman went to my mother and asked her, "Are you single?" She was like, "Yeah." She said, "Well, do you have a boyfriend?" And my mom tried to play it off like she had, you know, all this social life going on when she really didn't.
Right.
And and she said, "Well, give me your number. Can I have your number to give to?" She said, "I know a gentleman." She said, "Sure." She gave it to him, and so anyway,
rest is history, right?
Yeah, that my dad actually called her up, and that was his. But you know, that was in the I want to say mid 1960s.
Right, and I guarantee you, church was somewhere in that mix.
It was.
Yep.
It was.
Because that's the place where we met. That's the place where little old ladies knew guys who owned businesses and hooked them up with nice young girls.
Yep.
But we don't have that no more.
You know, all the older women out at the club, Kevin, trying to drop it like it's hot.
Well, you know, we're gonna have to do something about that though. But see, I'm glad I had this show because I honestly wasn't looking up. I looked over in the super chat, they're gone crazy. There are a lot of blue collar brothers that are vibing with this, and a lot of women are saying, I hadn't thought about this. This is like new news to a lot of people. So that's
I gotta tell you, man.
Go ahead.
This week, man, you've been on a roll, bro.
Right?
You remember when Steph Curry had that week before they won that first championship, he was hitting all them threes,
there you
and the
go.
other team around and trying to figure out, well, how is he doing this? Well, maybe you should play physical with him or do. No, and he just kept balling, man. You've been balling this week. You've been hitting the home runs left and right.
I appreciate it, William. Appreciate it, my friend.
Right.
Thank you. All right, so I'm going to have some more folks call in. I think I got Tara. I don't think Tara. If you had anything else, Tara, I'm going to unmute you. Did you have any other questions? Tara, did you have any other questions?
Yeah, it's Tara. No, I didn't. I don't think I had any questions.
Now you're here in Atlanta, right?
Yes, I am.
So the thing in Atlanta, there are so many sisters here in Atlanta, and there are so many black men that run blue collar businesses right here. you should be cleaning up if you're really looking for Blue Henrys, because this is an international city. It's not like you're like in Cedar Rapids or anything. So
Yeah, I think it's mainly just where I'm probably going.
yes,
Um, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's mainly what it is.
Where do
I
you
don't
go?
have a problem.
Where do you go?
Not many places.
Mm-hmm.
Not many places. Not many places. So I will say that. So I will take the advice that you gave, and probably not probably, but definitely look look in those places. I think that my shortfall is definitely me looking, because I definitely don't have a problem with dating men or finding men. It's just I just
So height, weight, dress size.
5'6", 128, and size 4.
Yeah, you need to go ahead and send me your stats and put them in my inbox, because I'm starting to work with this matchmaking. So, look, there are too many people, men and women. Y'all just need to be able to congregate each other. And if you're a cool woman, be able to find a cool man in this area, especially if you're a size 4, good stuff. You're already winning. But you got a lot of background noise going on up in there. Guys, send me an email if you want to participate in some things I got going forward. Let me go ahead and mute you in the background. Oh, I'm going to drop you on off.
Okay.
Okay. See, let's see. Let's admit Dallas Scorpio. Dallas Scorpio. Dallas Scorpio. There's a lot of opportunity here. Unmute. There we go. A man who can build and use tools. That's a skill that's never gonna go away. Dallas Scorpio. I should be a matchmaker. Hello.
This is this what I wanted to say was, if you want to meet blue collar guys,
I can barely hear you. I need you to speak up. And
can you hear me?
Yeah, what's your name? First name? All right. Can't hear you. Hello? All right. Can't hear you. Gotta get that audio together, folks. See, Stacy on Blue said, dang, why can't my size 7 get no love? Hey, I didn't make the rules. I didn't make the rules. It depends on how tall you are. If you are 5'7" or better, size 7 is in there. It's in there. So what I'm hearing is a lot of men are feeling this, and a lot of women are like, I never thought about this. So it really is going to come down to, this is kind of like we need a Sadie Hawkins dance, mixers. Now, here's no surprise. Tonight, after this, I'm going to grab me something to eat. I'm going to come back tonight when I'm doing my fragrance video, talk about how being in a fraternity changed my life. But I'll give you a sneak preview. Being in a fraternity, I learned how to put together mixers and networks. See, what we don't do right now, we don't have parties. We don't have house parties, mixers, networks. We don't have places where folks can go. We're relying on clubs and happenstance, and that's not how it works. It works by like-minded people knowing each other. It works on, Stacy on knowing that Kevin is having like in the 90s, we used to have poetry slams. We used to have, remember Love Jones? We used to do that. You come over to somebody's house and there's 10, 12 folks around there and you playing pictures with words and things like that. House parties. Good old fashioned ways of meeting folks. Jasmine, you're in. Brielle, you're on deck. It is not that complicated. And as your boys getting set up here, the MIT events, the FBI events, I said it last year, I plan on starting to put together mixers of some sort, just for people of like mind to get in the same room. I ain't trying to be a matchmaker. I'm trying to be maybe a connector. That's always a good thing, but that's a good network. All right, Bree.
Yes.
Brielle, is that your name?
Yes, Brielle.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you, sir?
I am good. What you got for me?
Well, I just wanted to say women do not need to overlook blue collar workers.
Mhm.
I've been married 20 years to one, and he put me and himself through college.
Mm.
And we owe no student debt. We hardly have any debt. And he's putting my boys through the college too. And they will owe no money.
There you go. What part of the country are you in?
In North Carolina.
North Carolina. And what trade is your husband in?
He works on trucks. He's a mechanic. He specializes to work on trucks.
There you go. Always will be work, won't it?
Mm-hmm.
Even if hold on. The guy who can work on trucks will have work longer than the guy who's driving the truck. Even when they get automated, somebody still got to work on them. So this old automation thing, blue collar guys will always be there. Now do you have daughters or just sons?
I actually have 2 daughters.
Uh-huh.
And 2 boys.
Okay, and are they still at home or are they out of the house? Daughters.
No, the daughters there. I have one in middle school and one high school.
Okay. Well, and being able to see blue collar men probably help them out a lot too when as they get on out of your house, so they don't start overlooking blue Henrys, as I call them, because that's a huge blind spot with black folks. Huge blind spot. But thank you for putting that in. You got anything else for the folks?
I just want to thank you for having the show. I really appreciate it. I love your channel.
Oh,
keep it up. I love it, love it, love it.
Well, thank
you, sir.
Thank you very much. Have a good one. Tell
You
Mr.
too.
Brian I say, what's up? Jasmine, what's going on?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. What you got for me, Jasmine?
Well, you asked women to call in. I'm from Dallas, by the way. But you asked women to call in about the Blue Henry guys. And I just put this out here because I've dated both, like white collar men and also Blue Henrys. And nothing made me more mad than the white collar man not being able to change a tire.
Huh? I'll tell you what.
Like that.
Mm-hmm. Punk asses.
Yes, I want a man. Like, if I got to get my hands dirty, I know how to do these things, of course, but if I got to get my hands dirty, then what are you here for?
Right. Now, if you watch my channel, you know I don't tolerate a lazy, ineffective man. And I will be honest, I've driven down the road many a day. I hate driving down the road and seeing a woman changing the tire with a dude's behind on the cell phone. Or some stuff like that.
Yeah, are you calling AAA?
She shouldn't even be out there. So you're in Dallas. Are you from the Dallas area or you just live and work there?
I'm from the Dallas area, yeah.
Now, I used to live in Dallas for most of my adult career, and I would tell you that I had many women I went to college with or I knew they just would not look at blue collar men. I mean, they was chasing cowboy players and Mavericks and like I said, being in a rotation of white collar dudes versus being a rotation dealing with a blue collar dude. How'd you end up deciding to date them both? Because that's not the norm. That's not the norm.
Well, here's the thing. I grew up out in like East Texas area in Commerce.
There you go.
And then, but the thing is, my parents always had good money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my dad was a college professor. Then, of course, he moved back to Sudan and he was working in the international government.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in that circle where I was meeting with dignitaries when I was with him and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I also had that commerce route. So I saw the best of both worlds.
Okay.
Enough to make a good calculated decision.
There you go. Well, I appreciate you calling in, Jasmine. Thank you very much for the input.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. See, when never underestimate the power of not coming from a big city. Getting East Texas, country towns, it often surprises people that I'm from Oklahoma City, doing what I do. But it gives you that common touch. And guys, I would tell you this, white collar guys, you better have blue collar friends. You do not need just straight up all white collar friends. Because there's, since she said it, I cannot stand sissified soy boy pansy white collar dudes. Remember that video I said things your father should have taught you? And I was going on. There's nothing worse than a man who can't change a tire. You don't know where a damn battery is on a car. You don't know what a fuse box is in your own damn house. I believe you shouldn't own nothing where you don't at least know the basics of it. I mean, now today cars are far more complicated with onboard computer systems. I get it. But you should at least understand what it means to change oil, whether or not you can physically do it. If you can't change a tire, bruh, wax sauce, straight wax sauce. Straight wax sauce. All right. Well, let me see. This was a good show. Shout out to all the blue collar brothers. Like I said, and here's the thing. Saturday, when we get out of whatever we're in, y'all need to go give these y'all blue collar brothers a pound. I mean, think about it. Without blue collar, we white collar folks would have nothing. We can't do nothing without them. So that's why I never understood the arrogance. It actually shocked me when I used to hear women talk about they wouldn't date a man who sweats for a living. I'm like, what? Just blew my mind. Yeah, people barely get a spare time. LaShawn, I know, bro. Look, man, I got a story, but you know what? The spirit has to be there. Look, man. As a man, you got to be able to do some man stuff. You never know. The zombie apocalypse may happen. You need to have a knife around you at all times. You never know. You may have to jab up a zombie or something. Look, man, you need to be able to cut a yard, snake a drain, install a ceiling fan. You see all this studio work, all these lights, even, I look at the flowers with all the lighting. I did all this. Zip ties, tool bag over here, gear ties. Let me tell you something, you white collar dudes, you're missing a huge opportunity to be a sexy dude. If you can work with your hands, basic stuff, you gain cool points. Blue Henry, same thing. If you can be a Blue Henry and still throw in a nice blazer and, a button up, wear one of these and go out and, because see, one of the biggest things is a lot of these women can't find you guys. And I get it. You work hard. You ain't trying to be out socializing to get found by Phoebe. I feel you. That's why I believe in networking. If my Blue Henrys are out, you're enterprising. That's why I say women should go to places where you are doing business. You notice I never tell nobody to try to go to club or nothing. I'm like, go find where these men are doing business. Chamber of Commerce, the churches, the civic associations, all that stuff. Yes. Yeah. You live out here, find a local high school football team after all this is over and go to the big high school games. If you live in the South or the Midwest where football is big, whose name is on the stadium? Contractors small businesses love having their names in the football programs. Who is sponsoring the local softball team? Local Little League team. The T-Bird, the Thundercats are sponsored by Lawrence's AC. Notice when you're driving around the logos. Stop looking for AT&T and Exxon and look for local concerns, local trucks. Get in a chamber and find out who's headquartered. Look at businesses 50 businesses from 20 to 50 employees that are headquartered in your city. Blue Henry's own those. Damn, that was good. Look for businesses, 20 to 50 employees, headquartered in your city. That business has an owner. That's your boy. That's your boy. The Lions Club. Yep, all that stuff. Said the drama is real here. What the hell is going on in here? So, shout out to everybody that came through on on the super chat and things. Small business equals ownership. Ownership equals leadership. You know what? You want to stop having pansy boys? Let them have fathers who have owners. Ain't nothing like, as a little boy, I would have loved to have been able to follow my daddy to work. Go on a construction site around a bunch of men, to go on a work site around a bunch of men. Boys crave that kind of stuff. Boy Scouts and all that is as close as a lot of boys ever get to having a father than to have one. Little boys love to sit in the passenger seat of their dad's car or the truck on the way to work. You better listen to what I'm saying. That is the shit that makes a man. I still have fond memories of being in my grandfather's truck. He taught me how to everything I learned about being a man, I learned from my grandfather. He had a 4th grade education, but he had a PhD in man. Yeah, that was some good shit too. His son he wanted to be out in them streets. And when he was married, been married for 50 years, but when he had his boys, he was ripping and running. But when he had a little girl on the way, he hung that bullshit up and got him a factory job. And he has the same stuff there. It's innate in all men. Let that happen and get out of the way. Let that boy get in the car with a man and let that man teach that boy how to be a man. You make sandwiches and lemonade and iced tea and stop trying to make these dudes be dudes like myself. We ain't cut the same. I do this because I know how to do it, but they do something for a living that I have the utmost respect for. You better start learn how to value your enterprising entrepreneurs, your Blue Henrys. You better start learning how to value the men who actually own their own businesses. Just because they don't wear somebody's suit to somebody's skyscraper downtown. That was my path. Love it. Wouldn't change it for the world. Now understand, I wouldn't try to go be a Blue Henry. That ain't me. I'm very well with who I am. But last thing, Blue and Blake, sports unites them both. Sports. Some of these guys like to go golfing together. Some of these guys go hunting. Blake can show out on the golf course. You got a lot of blues who can golf too, but Blakes tend to show out on the golf course. But blues show out in hunting. Anything involving any kind of weaponry, blues love it. Get a clue. Blues love it. Start talking about next week when I put out my everyday carry: cigars, scotch, firearms, knives, fishing tackle, barbecue grill. Oh man, these dudes are men, they start loving this shit. Trust. Hunting, fishing, Blue Henry territory. Yeah, man. Deer, thank you. Jamie, I don't even know what a deer lease is. Talk about your hunting. They ask you if you're a bow. You really want to know if you got a superpower Blue Henry? He's a bow hunter. Shit. You get a bow hunter? That's some real. That's some real up there. Oh, I'm sorry, Patrick. Thank you. Patrick, motorcycles. Motorcycles. Blues Clues love motorcycles. And Blakes love trying to butch up on the weekends and get on their motorcycles. Blakes butch up and get on their motorcycles. Blues let it all hang out. So ladies, that's another one. Find a local biker club. With the bikes that, you know, not the little, and no insulting to the Rice Rockets, but find where the Harleys are. Find where the antique, the 68 Camaros. Find where this stuff is. Auto shows. Gun shows. Blue Henry's all through these places. All right, man. I got to get up out of here. I got to get me some vittles. Come back later on tonight talking about how pledging changed my life. How I think a lot of people misunderstand what being in part of an organization, a fraternity, whether you college or afterwards, can impact your life. If you have a college degree in particular, you want to stay tuned. And even if you can't get into a fraternity, there are still organizations that you need to be part of. So we're going to talk about membership. All right, I got to eat. I'm hungry. I'm sorry. Let's get up some music and let's get out of here.
So tell your girl.